So now I'm going to be speaking from one topic to the next, and with me this morning is Richard Dick Solomon. He's the author of the book Signature Service Strategy. Good morning, my friend.
Morning.
And welcome. Well, congratulations. Your book is a #1 Amazon seller.
It is, yes.
And you know, you have quite an expansive background as it comes to strategy and business principles.
Yes.
I would say. So first off, the topic for today is global competitiveness. So define global competitiveness for us.
Well, competitiveness equals productivity. The more productive a nation is, the more competitive it is. So to an individual.
So how is it, do we go about becoming more competitive as individuals, and how do we translate that on a national level?
Well, it has to do with how much you produce in a particular period of time. So as an individual, simply put, giving a good day's work for a good day's pay.
Good day's work for good day's pay.
Many employees don't give a full day's work. I mean, they're at work, but they're not necessarily producing for that period of time. Now, if we translate that to the national situation, then we can begin to discuss where some of our challenges lie.
Oh, that topic could could go for quite a while.
It could.
But what is the current state of our competitiveness?
Well, according to the World Economic Forum, we're 78 out of 140 countries.
Wow, so just beyond the half mark.
Just beyond the half mark, and I mean, some people can say that's good. It's not so good when we look at what's going on with our economy. We had negative growth last year. It was just adjusted by the CSO. We also see quite a few multinationals that have been either downsizing their operations or pulling out of the country.
Right.
So we have some things to be concerned about.
Definitely, and with the downturn, the economic downturn we have experienced in the past few years, it is evident that something needs to be done and something needs to change. There needs to be a great shift for us to get out of the situation we're currently in, and of course progress forward past that number 78 and go up to, you know.
It's that, but we've relied heavily on the petrochemicals to bail us out.
Yes.
You know, that's how we've been cashing our checks over the years. I think it's now about 40% of our economy still. But oil is no longer sexy, and gas is becoming less and less sexy.
Yeah.
Green and renewables is the way that many countries are going. And so I don't know that we could continue to rely on that for the long term. We're going to have to look at other ways to be able to move our competitiveness to another level as a nation.
Now, us being so reliant on oil for energy and you know, the oil industry itself, how do we stack up against other countries that may depend on oil in a similar manner?
Well, oil is not special. Guyana just found a whole lot of it, apparently more than we have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it in Venezuela. Nigeria has a lot of oil. Oil is not special. As a matter of fact, some of the most competitive nations, they don't have those kinds of energy reserves. We have to look at how do we produce, given what we have. It used to be that multinationals located themselves here because there was high energy, we had stable transfer of government, the weather is afraid of us, it's pretty stable, notwithstanding the flooding that we've been experiencing. But there are some other issues. Cost of production is difficult. It takes a long time to get things done here. When you look at the World Economic Forum, the top 3 things that we struggle with in terms of doing business are corruption, bureaucracy, it takes long to get things done, and work ethic. Those 3 things keep bedeviling us as a nation, and we, notwithstanding what has been happening with petrochemicals, we still have not been able to move forward and really punch above the weight that we're punching at.
Definitely, definitely. So what have we been seeing in our specific situation?
In Trinidad and Tobago, well, recently we saw Unilever cut 200 jobs.
Yeah, for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the first time for Unilever. Maybe about 15 years ago, Unilever did a voluntary separation. We've had Nestle doing the same thing. We don't have Johnson & Johnson anymore. Kimberly-Clark is gone. Mittal is gone. Yara just said that. This is a trend. This is not happenstance. This is not something that is just occurring. They're saying that the cost of production is too high. And maybe we can trace some of it to our attitude towards work. We recently, maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, we had a particular union leader saying, take your oil rig and go. And the company took the oil rig and went. Jobs are global.
Yeah.
Organizations can now say, where should I locate those jobs? Where should I buy those products? And we do it at our level as individuals. We saw the Minister of Finance add 7% to online purchases. I doubt online purchases went down because it's still cheaper to bring things in that way.
Yeah.
Productivity and competitiveness go hand in hand. And as a nation, we really have to take a very serious look at how are we bringing up the next generation to be competitive, not in the Caribbean. Sun, sea, and sand is not special, but on a global stage. Because remember, jobs are global.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Jobs are global.
Yeah.
The they don't have to get it here.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
And but what is responsible for this? How did we get here to begin with?
You have to look at when we were being formed as a nation and where the power sources were, and a lot of it has to do with what I call a sort of a socialist overlay in our economy. The unions have always played a very significant part in politics, and a lot of how decisions get made and the kinds of policies we have as a nation can be traced back to that. As a result, what you find is that, in my opinion, we artificially inflate ourselves in terms of how much we produce.
Right.
We're third in the Americas, for average salary. We're fifth in the world for absenteeism, according to the ILO. Fifth in the world for absenteeism.
Oh.
That's a big problem.
That is a big problem.
That is a serious thing. And when you look at things like that, you say, well, how did we get here? Well, you have forces that are saying we want more, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have nothing against trade unions. I mean, they're doing their job. Or employees asking for more. But those checks have to be cashed. And where is that cash going to come from? We've seen successive governments borrow to try and keep things going. We've seen other governments, this current government has sold off some of our assets to try and balance the budget. And I'm not saying those things are bad necessarily, but you can only do that for so long. At some point in time, we've got to get the nation to a place where it can produce enough. We've got foreign taste. So the minister has tried to squeeze the US dollar. But how did we get here? How did we get to this place where somehow many people believe that it's okay to ask for and not produce enough?
Right.
We got to that place because the way when we were being formed as a nation, those with power, and I'm not talking about political power in those cases, labor power, they said the people who produce must benefit from that production. And I agree, but it has to be equivalent.
There must be balance.
There must be balance, absolutely.
Well, and to learn more, we can definitely read your book that we can find on Amazon.
Yeah,
and where else can we find it?
It's on Amazon. It's in RIK. It's in Metropolitan. Widely available, but of course everything is digital now as we're online now,
right.
so
yeah.
that's easy access.
Yeah, that's right. So I want to thank you, Richard Dick Solomon, for joining us this morning, giving us this insight into what global competitiveness is, where we stand, and I think you should come back and chat with us so we could learn what can be done as well. So we'll have a talk about that in the future. But for now, thank you for joining us this morning.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break and come right back.